Update 4 for Falcon BMS 4.37 has just dropped and the F-15C has received a lot of love. In this video I'm going to go over all of the major updates. For everything else, we have a full suite of brand new docs that shipped with Update 4. Updated Dash 34, updated Dash 1, a brand new training manual, and updated checklist to get you started. First up, the APG-63 has received a lot of updates, first of which is the removal of the highlight mode, as that was an APG-70 function, and instead we now have a much more accurate manual acquisition process. So right now, if we press TDC depress, the radar goes into a mini raster or an acquisition raster, which you can see. So we're in search right now. The azimuth scan balls are showing 120 degrees azimuth scan. If we depress the TDC, we get the acquisition raster. So the azimuth scan balls now show this. It's a plus minus 3 degree acquisition scan centered on the ACC cursor, and all you need to do to lock up a target is slew the ACC cursor over a radar contact, and you'll go boom straight into a single target track. So we can press TDC, or rather auto acquisition depress, to flush back to search. You don't have to start with the cursor off and then slew it on. You can just go straight to the cursor over a radar contact and press TDC depress to effect a lock, and that gets you to a single target track as well. You also notice we now have updated symbols for the designated targets. A primary designated target, or PDT, is symbolized with the open box, long vector stick, and the golf tee. And then secondary designated targets displayed in TWIS, which we'll go through in a second. So again, TDC depress, TDC depress, and then you can slew the radar cursor over a contact, or in some cases it's better to just put the cursor over the contact you want and press TDC depress. Track while scan radar modes also received numerous updates, so we can enter track while scan from a couple of different ways. From search, which we're in now, you depress and hold the TDC button, which puts us in mini raster, as you can see, and then whilst you're holding TDC depress, you press auto acquisition aft simultaneously, and we're in what's referred to as non-designated TWIS. So it's a 30 azimuth scan, 2 bars, and that's only one of the multiple Eagle or APG-63 TWIS modes. So we've only got one in this release, which is this 30 as 2 bar scan. But now we're in non-designated TWIS, and there's 2 different ways that we can designate a target. First one's called quick pick, which is simply where you slew the acquisition cursor over a track file, and you'll see it snaps to the track files, and then you press TDC depress, and now you'll see we've got a PDT, primary designated target, and the other targets, or the other track files here, have turned into secondary designated targets, and then the radar does that automatically. So the difference here being the golf tee signifies the PDT, and the secondary designated targets, which you can have up to 7, allow the radar to be quickly step to it. So coolly switch up is going to quickly step through the track files here, and you'll see that it steps from nearest to farthest and works left to right. Now you'll notice that the scan azimuth is bound to the PDT to prevent you from dropping lock, but if you need to undesignate a PDT so that you can go back to non-designated TWIS and use it as sort of a search mode, coolly switch down will undesignate. So the other way to go from non-designated TWIS to designated TWIS is just simply by pressing coolly switch up. So that'll automatically select what's called the radar priority target, which is the track file with the shortest missile time of flight, and then again it'll generate the others as secondary designated targets. The other way to enter designated track while scan is from a single target track. So if we select a single target track here, just through the auto acquisition, or correction, the TDC depress, now if we press auto acquisition switch aft, it'll put us straight into our 30 as 2 bar designated TWIS scan, and again if we press auto acquisition switch aft, the PDT will go back into a single target track. So it's still the primary designated target, where now we're just moving between single target track and designated TWIS. Radar auto-acquisition modes are now fully modeled, so the auto-acq modes are accessed funnily enough through the auto-acq switch. So auto-acq aft is going to put us in vertical scan mode. You've got a reference line from HUD center to the 12 o'clock position, and it scans from +5 degrees to +55 degrees from the aircraft sort of bore sight. So it's a great single circle dogfight, radar acq mode. And to get out of any auto-acq mode, you just press auto-acq depress to return to search. Next we've got auto-acq forward. The first depression of auto-acq forward puts us in super search. So we've got this solid reference circle in the HUD, and you can bias it up and down. TDC up biases the scan up 28 degrees, and then to bring it back down to the center, TDC depress, and TDC depress again is going to get you to a negative 17 degree scan. Now if we press auto-acq forward again, we're in bore sight. So basically, again, out to 10 nautical miles. All these modes are out to 10 nautical miles, and this is just going to lock anything in the bore sight reticle there. If we press auto-acq switch forward long, we're now going to be out to a 40 nautical mile bore sight mode. So the circle is a little bit larger, and we're good out to 40 nautical miles. So we can see here we've got a IL-76. So we'll start with super search. Pretty simple, and there we go. We've got another IL out here at about 20 miles. So if we go auto-acq forward long, there you can see we've locked him out at 17 nautical miles. The air-to-air interrogator set is implemented now in a very initial implementation. So down on the left console, we've got the air-to-air interrogator panel, AAI, and only one mode is implemented at the moment, and that's the auto mode. And what the auto mode is going to do for us is interrogate for mode 4 replies. It's the most versatile mode, particularly in your dynamic campaign scenario. And interrogation is initiated via Coolie switch left. We're going to see an A appear in the bottom left of the VSD. So there's the A. On the VSD, there are two possible symbols that will appear. A diamond that's going to signify a low confidence reply. A low confidence reply means you're getting a mode 4 reply, but you can't tell whether it's friendly or not yet. And then a circle. And so the circle is a symbol for a high confidence reply, and that is a friendly mode 4 reply. The other thing to note is that the correlation between the IFF reply and the actual radar track can be not particularly accurate at long ranges. So we can see here we've got 4 contacts on the radar, and I can tell you it's a hostile, 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 and then a friendly over here. So as I interrogate, you'll notice that this circle is not perfectly overlapping with the friendly radar track. It's a little bit off, and particularly this is just beyond 60 miles, it's not going to be particularly accurate each time. The closer you are, the more accurate the mode 4 reply is going to be. Next we have Link 16, or in this F-15 JTIDS. So in update 4 we have the next generation of Link 16 or BMS Link 16 available for the F-15, and it's going to require some pilot actions during ramp start. On the left console we have the JTIDS panel here, and whilst all these switches function and you can manually select things like the mission channel, the DTM will automatically load the data that we need. All we need to do is make sure that we take the mode switch out of off to norm, and then once that's in norm, if we go to the MPCD base page or base menu page, you'll notice that the center of the display is blank. What's happening now is a bit is running, and shortly we'll see some Link 16 data pop up in the center of the display here. We have to wait till we get that data displayed and we have initialize to load the DTM to then load the Link 16 data required to have it working. So here we go, terminal load, initialize, and net entry is blank. So now we can go to the DTM page, press read to load the DTM, and just let that do its thing. Important to note that the INS does not have to be aligned to achieve this. That can run in the background, so you can do this simultaneously. Alright, so once the DTM is loaded, we'll go back to the menu page and we'll see that terminal load still says initialize, Now it says go, and the net entry is going to go from improg to course, and then finally fine. And that indicates that we have good Link 16 synchronization, and we're on the network. Now on the SIP page, you can see right now our flight members are displayed in cyan. Obviously it's can't really break them out at the moment because we're on the ground with them, but that's how you ramp start now with Link 16, taking the mode switch to norm, waiting to have initialize on the base menu page, and then loading the DTM. Now for just some good old quality of life updates, of which there have been many, but starting in the cockpit, we have the mirrors that are now toggleable. There are click spots on all three of them, and left clicking will hide the mirrors, right clicking will bring them back. So hugely helpful for those disorienting nighttime missions where the ambient lights or city lights are moving in the sort of opposite direction in the mirrors. You can just quickly turn them off. The pretty much every knob in the cockpit is now scrollable, particularly helpful for the course and heading, but all of the lights and the INS controls, and then also all of your volumes are and the radar are now scrollable, which is huge. The SID display also remembers the mode that you leave it in. So right now the VSD is the center of interest, and we can tell that because we've got the ghost cursor, which is the dashed green cursor on the SID. But if I castle down to the SID page to make it the center of interest, I can now castle right to center the display, and if I go back to the VSD, it's going to retain that. It'll also if I cast back down, it'll also retain the zoom level. If I zoom in a few times, then back up to the VSD, it's going to retain that, which is really helpful if you want to monitor your formation. We now have a functioning tail hook with the beautiful new 3D model from Manos, so you'll see that working flawlessly in your emergency procedures. Whilst the hook doesn't perfectly press the ground in 3D, it does work flawlessly. So there you have it. Those are the most important updates for the F-15C in BMS 4.37 Update 4. There are a few other goodies for you to find, so please consult the manuals, particularly if you need a full rundown of the new Link 16 and technical data and information on all the other radar modes that are now available in Update 4. This thing is an absolute monster in BBR, so get out there and enjoy some air-to-air combat.